So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to start with some boneless, skinless chicken breasts. And I like to give them a quick pound because they're going to cook more evenly that way. So I'm just going to get them into a Ziploc bag. You could also get them in between 2 sheets of plastic. So 3 to 4 chicken breasts, just depends on how many people you need to feed. And then I'm going to just get them in the bag. Use the flat side of a meat mallet, or if you have a rolling pin, that works great too. A big, heavy frying pan, the back of that will work fine too. This is a great way to kind of get your frustrations out at the end of the day. But it's real important because this is going to cook a lot more quickly and a lot more evenly. So I know I'm being very loud. I apologize. All right. You don't want to over-pound them. That's the key. It's kind of like a happy medium, and these look perfect. Okay. Now, I'm going to take the chicken breasts, and I've got some flour over here. We're going to lightly coat these guys. The big fancy word is dredge them. And I'm going to season my flour, or you can just season the chicken. It's up to you. With a little bit of salt and pepper. All right. I'll just mix that around a little bit. Into my pan. I want it hot, but not too hot. A little bit of oil in here. Biggest skillet you have. And for this recipe, I really like to use a stainless rather than a non-stick, because we're going to get some really nice brown bits, which is going to create a really nice pan sauce. And that's what they do at the restaurants. You can do it at home too. So I'm just dredging or dipping the chicken lightly in flour. And I'm going to just get it into the pan. And you notice the pan is like hot, but it's not smoking hot. I want it nice and browned, but I don't want it, we're not doing Cajun here. We don't want blackened chicken. All right, one more. And this isn't going to be like a heavily breaded chicken breast. This is just going to give it a little nice crunch. It'll also thicken the sauce a little bit. That's a little bit of flour in the chicken. And it's going to be nice and golden brown. Okay, so I'm going to let that hang out and do its thing for a minute. And we've got some business to talk about today. Okay, so I gave you an assignment on Friday. Did you do it? I sound like a teacher, don't I? We are looking for your ultimate backyard barbecue recipes. So we've got a big contest. We do this every year, this time of year, and it's so much fun. What I'm looking for from you guys is your very best summer recipes in these different categories. They don't have to be on the grill. So, you know, just something that you are known to make in the summer and everybody loves it. Appetizers. We're looking for your very best summer appetizers. Do you do a really great summer dip or summer hors d'oeuvres? If so, we need to know about them. What about a summer salad? Do you make the best potato salad ever? Maybe you do a wonderful pasta salad. So coleslaw, just something unique, unusual, maybe a family recipe. Main course. Do you do barbecue ribs? Do you do turkey on the grill, Cornish game hens, the best brats ever, stuffed burgers, pork chops, steak? You name it, fish, maybe you do seafood on the grill. We're also looking for your very, very best summer desserts. Maybe do a strawberry pie or an ice cream dessert. And then finally, we're looking for summer drink recipes. They can be cocktail recipes or non-alcoholic recipes. Either one will work. But get us those recipes as soon as possible. Lots of ways you can enter and get us those recipes. You can go to fox11online.com. And you can enter that way. You can actually drop off your recipes to the station, or you can mail them, and the address there is on the screen. But make sure you put what category you want to enter your recipe into, and you can enter in several different categories. But time is running out. We need those recipes. Ooh, I was just about to sneeze here. As soon as possible, and then the deal is we're going to go through all those recipes, and we'll pick the 2 that we think are the best in each category. You'll be invited on the show to come cook with me. And there's going to be all sorts of prizes. It's just going to be great fun. And then we put a whole booklet together with all those great summer recipes so that you can cook them up yourself this summer. All right, let me check on those chicken breasts. Maybe allergies. I don't have a cold at all. And just backed up completely. Don't worry, I'm okay. So I'm just letting these chicken breasts get nice and golden brown. A couple other things we wanted to mention is book club book. I have started the book. I actually started it this weekend, and it's very, very good so far. It's not a real long book. It's a very, very easy read. We're reading a book called Orphan Doors, and it's by a local author. Her name is B. Seidel, and it's actually a memoir, true story of her growing up in a Green Bay orphanage when she was a little kid. And just really, really interesting because you'll recognize the places. You may recognize, some of the characters. It's just, it's pretty cool to read and support local authors. And the neatest part is she's actually going to be at the book club meeting. So our book club meeting is coming up. You've still got plenty of time, a couple of weeks to read this, and you'll get it done in no time. It's 5:30, May 13th at the La Java Suamico location, not the Howard location, the Suamico location. If you're looking for the book, you can get it on Amazon. You can get it at the St. Norbert College bookstore, or they have it at the La Java locations. I just stopped in there for coffee this morning, and they've got the book sitting right there. So if you're looking for that book, that's where you can get it. Please find the book, read along with us, and then come to La Java for book club. It's always a really great time. Enjoy, discussing the book among other people who have read it, and very cool to have the author there. Okay, so these chicken breasts are looking beautiful. We're going to give them a big flip. And then we're going to talk about some of the other ingredients that we're using and making a pan sauce. So basically, while these are cooking, I'm getting some nice brown bits in the bottom of this pan. And that's one of the secrets when it comes to, cooking like they do in restaurants, is instead of just serving the chicken as is, frying it up and then serving it, taking advantage of the wonderful flavors in the bottom of the pan and making a great sauce. And just taking this dish to a whole nother level. So we're going to basically, in just a second, deglaze this pan and make a quick, easy pan sauce with just some chicken stock. In this case, we're going to use a little bit of balsamic vinegar, a little bit of red raspberry jam. We've got some fresh raspberries, too, that we're going to dress this up with. And I'm also going to do a little bit of thyme. And I meant to put this on with the chicken at the very beginning, but I got talking, but it doesn't matter. We'll put it on now. This is going to really give this is fresh thyme, which I happen to absolutely love. We'll put a little into the sauce too. Gives it such great flavor. Dry thyme also works, but dry thyme is very, very strong. So the recipe calls for a few teaspoons of fresh thyme, or maybe half a teaspoon of dry thyme. Now, these aren't completely done now, and that's okay because we're actually going to get them back into the sauce in just a minute. So I'm going to remove them to a plate right now. And now I'm going to make that pan sauce. And they'll continue cooking in the sauce. Okay, so see all that great brown yumminess on the bottom of the pan? That is called fond. That's what the French call it. And I'm doing a little bit of chicken stock in the bottom of the pan. Turn up my heat. I'm going to do about 1/3 of a cup. This is seedless raspberry preserves. I think that's plenty. Let me get a whisk. So this isn't going to be real sweet because we've got the chicken stock to make it a little bit savory. So I think people think, raspberry chicken, it sounds kind of desserty. Don't worry about that. It's just going to be a really nice sauce that chicken sometimes can get so boring, and this is going to be a lovely sauce to just really complement the chicken. It smells delicious. I'm going to let that simmer for a little bit. I'm going to add a little bit of balsamic vinegar. We'll do 2 tablespoons. This is really going to work nicely with the raspberry flavor that we've got going on. Do a little bit more time just because I didn't do very much on the chicken. And I'm just letting this coat down, kind of reduce down so it'll kind of coat the back of the spoon. And the last thing I'm going to do is add a little bit of cold butter and some fresh raspberries. We'll do our butter first, then we'll do our raspberries. Oops. And the butter, as I turn this off the heat, is going to thicken the sauce. About a tablespoon or so. You certainly don't have to do this if you want to keep this light. But you see how that's just going to make the sauce really rich and thicken it at the very end. And we'll put our chicken back in just to let it finish cooking. We'll put a few raspberries in and we'll finish up the dish in just a few minutes. Love to serve this with rice pilaf and some nice steamed vegetables like asparagus this time of year. So there you go, raspberry chicken, and we'll finish it and take it to the plate in just a minute. But recipes on the website. You can also pick it up at any area Festival Foods.